Ever get the feeling that some people just have that it factor? That certain something that seems to draw success to them.
Yeah, like it's effortless.
Exactly. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into the heart of that very idea, the fascinating world of personal magnetism.
Oh, this should be good.
Our guide for this deep dive is a book that might seem a little, well, vintage at first glance, Mastery of Self by Frank Channing Haddock.
From like the early 1900s, right?
You got it, published back in the early 1900s. But don't let the date fool you. It's packed with insights on cultivating that magnetic aura that's something special.
And you'd be surprised those ideas are really timeless.
That's what I hear. So what's the deal with this Mastery of Self?
Well, I know the title might sound like something you'd find in your great aunt's dusty old self-help collection.
Maybe tucked away in the attic, right?
Exactly. But Haddock was onto something special. He structures the book like it's a journey of self-discovery, guiding you toward what he calls the golden laws of magnetism in all applied life.
Okay, so he's not just throwing out vague motivational quotes. There's real substance here.
Oh, absolutely. Haddock gets surprisingly specific, especially with his concept of the four pyramids. It's his way of laying out the foundation for building genuine magnetism, kind of like building a pyramid, actually, of your best self.
Okay, I'm intrigued. The four pyramids. You're going to have to break this down for me.
Think of it this way, just like a real pyramid needs a super strong base and those perfectly balanced sides to reach its peak, right?
Yeah, to support all that weight.
Exactly. Personal magnetism needs a solid foundation too. You can't just skip to the top and expect to radiate charisma. Haddock says there are these four key areas: physical health, physical magnetism, moral health, and then finally at the very top, personal magnetism.
So what you're telling me is I can't just fake it till I make it with this whole magnetism thing.
That's what Haddock seemed to say. Yep.
Sure.
You got to build it from the ground up.
Okay, that makes sense. But where do we even begin?
Well, Haddock is a big believer in what he calls vibrant health being the absolute bedrock.
Vibrant health. Sounds like a juice cleanse.
Right. But it's interesting because he compares a person to a field of vibrations, suggesting our thoughts, our feelings, even our actions create this energy we emit.
Whoa, okay. So we're all walking around like human radio towers, broadcasting our vibes.
You got it.
I've got to up my radio game then. But seriously, how does my physical health play into this whole field of vibrations thing and ultimately my magnetism?
Well, imagine this. If you're running on fumes, neglecting yourself, how strong is that signal going to be?
Probably not great. A little staticky.
Exactly. Taking care of your physical self, it's about more than just appearances. It's about cultivating this sense of self-respect, and that energy, that's what resonates.
It's like you're saying how I treat my body sends a message not just to the universe,
Oh, definitely to the universe.
but maybe even more importantly to myself.
Exactly. And that message, it translates directly to those vibrations you're putting out there. Neglect your well-being, and those vibrations are going to be, well,
A little off.
you could say that.
Okay, so no more cutting corners with that morning coffee and donut for breakfast. Got it. But let's say we've nailed the whole vibrant health thing. We've built that solid foundation. What's next on this pyramid of magnetism?
Well, that would be physical magnetism. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, now you're talking. Give me the details. What exactly is physical magnetism?
Think of it as cultivating your presence,
Okay.
both internally and externally.
So like how you carry yourself.
Exactly. It's about honing your willpower, becoming more responsive to situations, even paying attention to your posture, your demeanor. Haddock talks a lot about moving with confidence, but not arrogance. And, this is key, mastering control over your inner state.
So no quick fixes here, right? I shouldn't expect to master this overnight.
You got it. It's more about cultivating a presence that reflects who you truly are.
I like that. So it's about becoming more yourself, not someone else entirely.
You got it. Haddock believes everyone has these unique strengths, these talents that contribute to their own magnetism. It's not about becoming some charismatic robot.
Thank goodness.
Right. It's about identifying those strengths and allowing them to shine through.
Okay, I love that. Owning your unique brilliance. All right, so we've got that foundation, physical health, and we're starting to build that magnetic presence with physical magnetism. What's next?
That brings us to moral health, which I'll admit might sound a tad outdated in today's world.
I was just thinking that. Moral health, it does have a bit of a Victorian etiquette book ring to it.
It does, doesn't it? But stick with me on this one.
Okay.
In the context of Haddock's work, it's not about imposing this rigid set of morals. It's more about aligning your actions with your values. He talks about righteousness, love for humanity, knowledge, faith, hope, courage.
Those are pretty big concepts.
They are. But he says these qualities, when embodied, contribute to this deep sense of inner peace, inner strength.
Okay, so it's not about being a goody two-shoes. It's more about living with integrity, being true to yourself and your values.
Exactly.
Which, yeah, I can see how that creates the sense of inner harmony.
Exactly. And that harmony, it radiates outwards. Think about people who just light up a room. They often embody that deep sense of self-respect and integrity. They're comfortable in their own skin, and that is incredibly magnetic.
It's like they're not trying to be anyone other than themselves, and that authenticity is what draws you in.
You've hit the nail on the head. And this leads us perfectly to the peak of the pyramid, personal magnetism.
Okay, so we've reached the summit, we've laid the groundwork, built our foundation, climbed those pyramids, and now we're ready to stand at the top, radiating pure magnetism for all to see.
Right.
But how does Haddock even describe this elusive quality? It feels a bit like trying to bottle lightning.
You're right, it is a bit elusive to define, but that's part of what makes it so fascinating, right?
Definitely.
Haddock sees personal magnetism as the culmination of all the work you've done on those other three pyramids.
So it's like the natural outcome of all that inner work. Living in alignment, cultivating strength, taking care of yourself. It all builds to this.
Precisely. He argues that this kind of magnetism, it's not about manipulation or tricks. It's about becoming the best, the most authentic version of yourself.
And who doesn't want that? Right.
Right.
But what does that even look like in a practical sense? Does he give any examples?
He does, and this is where those golden laws of magnetic development come into play. He lists 19 in total.
Woo! 19!
I know.
That's a lot to unpack.
It is. We don't want to overwhelm you with all of them today.
Maybe we can focus on a few that are especially relevant to, building that personal magnetism we're after here.
Absolutely. Let's start with one that really resonates with me. Discovery of endowment.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Discovery of endowment. Tell me more about this one. What's Haddock getting at here?
So Haddock's idea with discovery of endowment is that it's a process, this journey you go on, where you're consciously cultivating your potential. You don't just wake up one day and boom, you're magnetic. You work at it.
So it's not like this magical quality you're born with. It's more about unlocking something within yourself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like a hidden talent. Let's say you have a musician, right?
Yeah.
They might have this natural ability,
Yeah.
but they still need to put in the time, the practice, the dedication to really hone their craft.
It's the same with, like, any skill, really. You have to work at it.
Right. Magnetism works the same way.
I like that. It's actually really empowering. It means we're not stuck with whatever level of magnetism we were born with.
Totally.
We can actually develop it. Okay, so what's another one of these golden laws that can help us on this journey?
This one might surprise you. Difficult environment.
Difficult environment.
Yeah.
That sounds a little counterintuitive, I have to say.
Word.
You'd think having it easy would make you more magnetic, not less.
Sounds like a recipe for complacency, right?
Exactly. Like, who needs magnetism when everything's just handed to you?
Yeah.
So how does Haddock justify this one?
Well, he says challenges, even hardships, can actually accelerate your magnetic development. It's about digging deep, honing that inner strength and building resilience.
So it's like what doesn't kill you makes you more magnetic.
Something like that.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Picture a tree weathering a storm, right?
Okay.
Those harsh winds, they force it to grow deeper roots. It becomes stronger, more resilient than a tree that's always sheltered.
That's a good analogy. Okay, give me one more golden law, and then let's talk about how we actually apply all this wisdom, all right?
All right. This one's all about intention. Haddock calls it magnetic intention.
Okay.
And it basically emphasizes the power of setting a focused intention to actually cultivate your magnetism. He really believed that what you focus your energy on expands.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's like that whole manifestation thing. If you're constantly saying, I want to be more magnetic, I want to be more magnetic, and of course, actively working towards it,
Yeah,
you're more likely to actually see it in your life.
exactly. But there's a catch.
Oh.
It's not just about, wishing and hoping.
Right.
You have to back up those intentions with action.
Right. It's like anything else in life. You have to put in the work.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that how. Does Haddock actually give any concrete steps, or is this all just kind of theoretical?
No, he does. He
Right.
does. And this is where it gets really practical. Remember those 4 pyramids we were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Each level, he gives you these practical ways to cultivate your magnetic aura.
Okay, so we're going back to our pyramid. So how do those levels translate into actual, like, tangible action?
Okay, well, let's revisit that foundation, physical health.
Okay.
Haddock says that taking care of your physical body, it's not just about vanity.
It's deeper than that.
It's deeper. It's an act of self-respect, a way of honoring your energy, your vitality,
Yep.
which, by the way, directly impacts your magnetism.
So, like, treat your body like a temple, not a rundown shack.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. But what does that actually look like in everyday life?
Well, it could be as simple as, are you getting enough sleep?
Always a struggle.
Right.
Hmm.
But are you nourishing your body with good, healthy food? Even just making sure you're well-groomed. These seemingly small acts,
Yeah.
they send a really powerful message, not just to the universe, but again to yourself,
Right, it shows you care.
about how much you value your well-being.
So you're saying taking care of your physical self, that's like step one to building that magnetic presence.
You got it. And
Yeah.
remember that field of vibrations analogy.
Oh, yeah. The radio waves.
When you actually prioritize your physical health, those vibrations, they become clearer, they become stronger, they're more aligned with that energy of vitality, of magnetism.
Okay, I'm convinced. No more skipping breakfast for me.
Oh.
All right, so we've got the foundation in place. What about that next level up? Physical magnetism.
Okay.
How do we build that magnetic presence without, feeling inauthentic, like we're putting on a show?
Right. This is where it gets really interesting. It's about cultivating your presence, both internally and externally. It's honing that willpower, becoming more responsive to situations, even paying attention to how you carry yourself.
Oh, okay, so like your posture.
Posture, your eye contact, your handshake, all of it.
Interesting.
Haddock stresses moving with confidence, but not arrogance,
Right.
and mastering control over your inner state.
So it's about becoming more aware of how you're presenting yourself to the world.
Yes,
And then kind of, I don't know, refining the aspects of yourself that might be holding you back.
precisely. Haddock even talks about the importance of recognizing your endowment.
Hmm.
He believes everyone has unique strengths, these talents that contribute to their magnetism. It's about identifying those and allowing them to shine through.
I like that. It's about, again, owning your unique brilliance. Okay, so we've got physical health, we've got physical magnetism. What about moral health?
Right.
We touched on this a bit earlier.
We did.
I'm still a little fuzzy on how it all ties into magnetism.
Right. It can feel a little out of place, like we were saying, in our modern world.
A
But
little old-fashioned.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But stick with me. It's less about adhering to some rigid set of morals and more about, again, aligning your actions with your values.
Okay. Think about the qualities Haddock emphasizes. Righteousness, love for humanity, knowledge, faith, hope, courage.
Yeah.
These are qualities that when they're truly embodied,
Yeah.
create this really deep sense of inner peace, inner strength.
So it's like you're saying living in alignment with your values
Yes.
creates this inner harmony
Yes.
that then naturally radiates outward.
Exactly. Think about the people that you're drawn to, the ones who just light up a room.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's because they embody this deep sense of self-respect, of integrity. They're comfortable in their own skin, and that authenticity. It's magnetic.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. It's not about being a saint. It's about living in a way that just feels true to yourself.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Building that foundation with physical health, cultivating our presence with physical magnetism, and then aligning with our values through moral health.
Right.
How does all of this culminate in that elusive personal magnetism at the top of the pyramid? It's like all those levels, they work together.
Right.
They build on each other.
Right.
And then they create this magnetic energy.
Okay.
Haddock, he describes personal magnetism as the natural result of all that work you've been doing on yourself.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally,
Yeah.
even you could say spiritually.
So it's like you're radiating from within.
Yes,
And that's what people are drawn to. It's not some kind of put-on act. It's the real deal.
exactly. You got it. And here's the best part. Haddock, he says to treat yourself as a live and truly successful proposition.
What does that even mean?
Believe in yourself like you're already a success story,
Oh, okay.
but you're still in progress.
So not in an arrogant way.
No.
But more like,
With a quiet confidence.
yeah, like you're on the right track, living in alignment with your best self.
Exactly. And here's the thing. He really believes that when you genuinely embrace that mindset, it changes everything.
Really?
It affects how you show up, how you interact with others,
Wow.
even the opportunities that come your way.
So it's like you're putting out this signal that says, hey, I'm here, I'm capable, I'm ready for some great things.
Exactly. Yeah.
No wonder success seems to follow people with that kind of energy.
Right. But remember, he's not saying you need to become someone you're not.
Right.
It's about becoming the most authentic,
Yeah.
the most genuine,
Yeah.
the most you version of yourself.
I like that. But let's be honest, some people, it's like they just have that natural magnetism, even if
Yeah.
they haven't necessarily done all this inner work that we've been talking about.
Sure.
How does Haddock explain that?
Well, that's a great point. And he actually acknowledges that. He says
Yeah.
that some people seem to have this,
It's like an innate charisma.
what he calls natural magnetism.
Oh, okay.
It might be their energy, their kindness, even just, a naturally sunny disposition.
You're just putting out those good vibes.
Exactly. Without even realizing it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is fascinating.
Okay.
He argues that even natural magnetism, it can be amplified through conscious effort.
Oh, wow.
So let's say you have someone who's already naturally charismatic, right?
Yeah.
If they start applying these principles,
Watch out.
exactly.
They're unstoppable.
But what about the rest of us?
Right. What about those of us who maybe weren't blessed with that?
Right.
Can you learn it? Can you cultivate it, even if it doesn't come naturally? Asking for a friend.
Yes, absolutely. He's adamant that personal magnetism is a skill you can develop.
Really?
It takes effort, it takes practice, it takes a willingness to grow.
Yeah.
But it's totally possible.
Okay.
It's like learning an instrument
Right.
or a new language.
You might not be fluent right away,
Right, you got to work at it.
but you can get there.
You can get there.
That's good news.
It's all about recognizing that potential within yourself and then committing to that journey.
I love that. So it's not about comparing yourself to others
Yeah.
or trying to be someone you're not. It's about embracing your own path, your own unique path to magnetic growth.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, this is a journey. It's
Okay.
best to approach it with,
A sense of adventure.
yes, joy,
Yeah.
self-discovery.
It shouldn't be a chore.
Exactly.
This has been incredible. Frank Channing Haddock's mastery of self. So much wisdom. And like you said, it's amazing how relevant it still is today.
I know, right?
But before we wrap up, one final question for you. In this whole idea of magnetism, it's about aligning our inner and outer worlds.
Yeah.
What's one small step, one little thing that our listeners can do today
Okay.
to kind of bring those worlds into greater harmony?
Ooh, what a great question.
Mhm.
It really can be something small. Maybe just take a moment to reflect on those 4 pyramids
Okay.
and pick one area
Yeah.
you feel drawn to developing, even just a little bit.
So maybe it's prioritizing your physical health by, I don't know, going for a walk.
Yes.
Or having a healthy meal. Or maybe it's about nurturing your moral health.
Right.
Practicing gratitude, helping someone out.
Exactly. Or even just setting that intention,
Yeah.
like we talked about,
Great.
for the kind of magnetism you want to cultivate. That can be so powerful, you don't have to do it all at once.
Small steps, big impact.
There you go.
I love it. It's a great reminder that we have the power to choose how we show up in the world.
We do.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the fascinating world of personal magnetism. And remember, the power to unlock that inner magnet, it lies within you.